Melanie C is back with new music. Yes, the artist formerly known as Sporty Spice has just dropped Sweat, a disco-tinged club track that samples Diana Ross's Work That Body. And while Mel looks absolutely incredible in the video, seriously, at 50-something, she's crushing it on that spin bike and pumping iron like never before. I'm not entirely sure about the song itself. I'm James, and this is Trendy Pop, where a 40-something guy clings to his 90s and noughties playlists trying to make sense of pop culture today. Now, for those who don't know, Melanie C is really the only Spice Girl who can still be considered an active recording artist. She's been releasing albums pretty consistently since the group's heyday. Her last one, the self-titled effort from 2020, was actually her highest charting album in at least a decade. That record leaned into a more dance pop sound, and Sweat pushes that direction to the max. She's also reunited with Virgin Records for the first time since they dropped her back in 2002, following the underwhelming performance of her unjustly maligned second album, Reason. So there's definitely some full circle energy happening here. Let's talk about what Sweat actually sounds like. Diana Ross's exercise anthem, Work That Body, is sampled heavily throughout the track. Diana Ross, approaching disco pop at a later point in her career and experiencing this massive revival. And now here's Melanie C at a similar stage, trying to tap into that same energy. Production-wise, this is heavy for a pop track. We're talking pounding rhythms, pumping bass lines. It's certainly not the most approachable pop song you'll hear on radio, but would it absolutely go off in the club? Definitely, if I still went to clubs. And that makes sense considering Melanie has made a side hustle for herself as a DJ. Releasing a track like this gives her plenty of opportunity to play it in her own DJ sets. Vocally, Melanie is surprisingly low-key here. She's leaning away from her usual rocky, belter-out vibes. Her tone is much softer, and it really suits the track. Some people might actually prefer this vocal approach from her, but here's the thing. It's not particularly catchy. There aren't really any strong hooks to grab onto. The song and the visual paired together are certainly more fun and interesting. As a standalone track, I wouldn't really call it fun in any way. And that's where my issue lies. Melanie has stated with this new era that she just wants to have fun and get the world dancing again. And look, I get it. I respect her right as an artist to experiment and try different things. I completely understand why her performances at events like Sing the Pink have influenced this direction. She's been immersed in that world, and it makes sense that she'd want to create music that fits. But here's the thing. I've always loved pretty much everything Melanie C has put out until this point. I've loved her music for those thoughtful, introspective lyrics. As a Melanie C fan, I think she's at her best when she's being self-referential, when she's digging into who she is and where she's been. Tracks like Version of Me or Who I Am showcase what makes her special as an artist. Sweat doesn't have any of that depth. It's not innovative, it's not particularly interesting. From an artist who's consistently committed herself to making music for the past 30 years, more than any other Spice Girl, this feels like a step backward. And I can't help but think the Melanie C of 1999 or even 2002 dragged Jerry Halliwell's musical output. And now, 25 years later, she's releasing a single that honestly wouldn't sound completely out of place next to Jerry's It's Raining Men. That's interesting. Sweat is the first single from a brand new album coming in May 2026, which feels like an insanely long lead time in this day and age, but I'm just a humble content creator, so what do I know about release strategy? Look, I hope the album contains more of that quintessentially Melanie C type music that I know and love, and I hope there's some depth and heart on there for longtime fans to really sink their teeth into. She's earned the right to experiment, and I support that. I still expect more from Melanie C, and I'm hoping the rest of the album delivers on what Sweat doesn't. Please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help more people find the channel, and I'll see you next time.